this session, we got wind that there are about 40-something roads.
42
roads being rehabilitated.
Yes.
And that is it across the state
in
or
Calabar?
just in Calabar?
Calabar. They've concluded Calabar municipality. The problem was, let me even tell you the problem. When I spoke with His Excellency Governor Benayada, I said, look, that it baffles me that we keep on repairing and patching specific areas without actually investigating to know the main reasons why we keep on patching specific points. Like, go the opposite, former National Cinema, that's bordering African Club. We have so many containers there blocking the drainage. So during the rainy season, water will spill onto the road and get somehow held back by the depressed part of the road. So every year they come and look at the resultant effect without checking out the causes. So this time around, we should look at the causes. Then the second thing was, when contractors come to Calabar South, they're either going to be kidnapped or their equipment and machinery won't be safe. What can you do? I said, well, from Calabar South, let us go to Calabar South and nothing will happen. Get me those so-called dangerous areas like the beach, Afokan, Jeps. Let me escort the contractor there. And so far, nothing. The people are even so happy they're joining hands. If you go to Howell by Afokan, they are the ones helping out to fill out the bad patches. What we did was, we found out that somebody had blocked the drain and turned the place into a sit-out. A notorious guy somewhere mentioned something to me. So for close to 20 years, nobody has been able to utilize that aspect, because you come from Afokan, you want to get to White House. Nobody could pass there, nobody could challenge him. So we broke up those places and straightened the roads. So we're going to fix the roads and the people will enjoy the facility, nothing will happen. So far so good. Yesterday we completed Marina. So at them, they were at Hewett. So far we've not had any altercation with the community. They are so excited. But we are particular about those spots that they keep on repeating. Like, there are parts that Zenith had patched for like 6 years in a row, like that, without anybody bothering about what could have been causing. You know, primitive people, the next thing they say is one mommy water thing that is there. How come that place don't be human activity? Because however, we found out that they had not desilted the drains for like 10 years. So it has so much debris. I mean, debris could feel like 6 tippers. Go to Yellow Deep. It's like all the refuse in this town are there. And the way they built it, the drains were built, the culverts were built in such a way that there was this divider to hold the middle. That has now constituted itself into a device to trap dirt. And once it traps, the water will keep on rising. Like Howell, water here, they used to have waist level of water there anytime it rains. The second aspect has to do with the quality of roads in Calabar South. First, they used to put asphalt on top of laterite. You see, there are about 8 Minister of Works people with us. I asked them, I said, why? He said, look, those days they used to divide trunk A roads, trunk B, based on the traffic. There were some parts that people were not even living in. Afokan used to be a prison area, so we had few people living there. All the roads there, asphalt on top of laterite, Jeps. I think recently that people started moving towards Jeps and all that, living around, even by the riverside. So what we are doing now, what we are insisting that they should do, is anywhere, any portion that is bad, as you are cutting out that portion for repair, put stone base. It's supposed to be laterite, stone base, and then asphalt. Let's see if these roads, what they are doing now, can at least stay for 2-3 years. Not this thing of every November they must fix roads. No, they're not into that. And every single road in Calabar South should be designated as Trunk A road. The traffic in Calabar South is some other thing. There are some areas without my presence, nobody would have been able to do anything. Because you have traffic from morning till about 12 midnight, though there's curfew, you know. So those are minor problems we are trying to solve for them, and it's not rocket science. I told the government it's not rocket science. We can do these things.
So for the drainage,
That's the problem we have.
What's the solution that?
It's not. You see, whenever I talk to the governor on that aspect, say get fund, get the environmental sanitation, and I must confess here that since 2 months ago that the governor said get fund, get all these containers blocking the drainage by African club, let them fix the place. There's another place that I told the governor, I said, look, behind Spa, you have a group of people from a certain extraction who are raping girls there. The idea is that they were supposed to have a fence running across the Bogobri aspect of the DC. They have borehole running there, nobody's saying it. I personally told the governor, he said, get director of works at KK, let them fix that place. It's 2 months, nobody's doing anything. I can't start reporting anybody. So I'm telling you here, that's the situation. Governor told me that KK should go and make sure that that Bogobri that they had broken down the fence, they should put up that fence because there's lights around there and people are scared of using your eta axis that come out. And of course you know that Bogobri area. At a point under Donald Duke, they had slabs done by Diamond Concrete, then the film was the one supplying. And they had covered all the gutters across Bogobri from Calabar Road to close to Mary's Lesser. Yes, they had covered. Those people shifted. If you go to the place maybe 9 o'clock, they are using that place as toilets till now. So something must be done, really. And it never even used to bother the government. It used to be a local government thing. They can handle it. But for now, we are concentrating on patching the roads. We have no business whatsoever for now with the drains. But I've discovered that to an extent it will be a waste of time if you don't take up the drains. What people do, the citizens do, they dump refuse when it rains in the gutters. And at times when you set aside your refuse 24 hours, 48 hours, they don't come and remove them. And it rains. They just pack the things from the roadside or the house side and dump it to the drains. And they've all piled up. And when once water doesn't have where to flow to, it will come back to the main road. And when it's stuck down for a while, the next thing is washing of vehicles on the asphalted roads. So if it's chemical to chemical and burning of tires, the same quality of material. Those of you are scientists. So it will mess up the road. Burning of tires, washing of vehicles, buses and taxis on asphalted roads. There's one at Palm Street, even that Howell, we've told them.
Palm Street by Abasida.
Yes, somewhere. We're going to talk to them.
Amen.
When we want them first, second time they don't do it, then we'll get them apprehended and prosecuted. That's what we do free of charge. Because there's no compensation. Just doing it straight away like that. We can do it. Just like refuse over the years, I keep on telling and I have to repeat it so that you understand the problem of refuse. When they used to collect refuse with 38,000, 40 million, a month, I wrote to His Excellency and I wrote to all the agencies concerned, and I said it clearly. First, in 1990, we were working with Basi then as chairman of Calabar municipality, and everybody gleefully paid 500 naira per month. So if now you wake up and say pay 1,000, they'll be smiling and paying 1,000 provided you evacuate the refuse. Second thing is, we used to localize collection of refuse. And I told them, I gave governor my own calculation. Now, get 40 balls, pay them 20,000 to translate to 800,000 per ward in Calabar South. Multiply that by 12, 9.6 million. Calabar municipality, 10 wards, multiply that by 10, it's going to be 8 million. So 17.9 million can carry refuse in Calabar South, Calabar municipality comfortably. But you must have designated points that they will dump this refuse. All these boys will have wheelbarrow, their boots and shovels. They will be begging people. It will do a multiple of things for us. First, it will be easy to identify those people who defecate into cellophane papers and put in the dustbin. If I'm the one covering this area and I keep on carrying, I'll easily identify the particular household that does that. Then, since they'll also help to distill the surrounding gutters, they will know those households that will be dumping refuse there. Since there's no proper, not only Calabar, there's no proper way of disposal of human waste in the urban areas. Sanitary inspectors are gone. Sanitary environmental courts are not there. So people will be more audacious in doing things that are negative. And you say landlord, we want toilet. Small rooms, about 20. Every morning, everybody goes to line up. And my big toilet in an urban area. It's very easy to correct those things. If they come and give you 1 month to provide the proper toilet for your compound, you will do it. The highest thing that will happen is you tax more the tenants, and they will provide those things. But if there's no conscious and definite effort from the government to do those things, they will never work. So when you consider that there are over 400,000 houses in Calabar, South Calabar municipality, and you multiply that by 1,000, they will pay. Then we have designated places where you collect this refuse. Those boys will be happy. And then you will engage them fully. See a situation, you have 40 boys per ward. They are engaged, they are sure they are 20,000 at the end of the month. Everybody must be engaged. Even those days, we had what they call neighborhood development organizations, and we told them to collect this tenement rates and all that from the people. They collected. A house like there might be maybe 1,000 houses within a ward. The boss will tell them that if you don't pay now, how do they eat from? Because they gave them a certain percentage. I think 40% pay 60 to government. And they were collecting tenements. And I told Governor Imoka, I wrote these things, I always documented that. Mayor Lasky, one of those mafia treasurers, said the easiest way to collect tax is to make it painless. That's number one. That's why he invented this one arm bandit. He discovered that it was easy to collect money from people who were playing the game with coins. You can play 10 naira with that money. You go $10. But if you go to someone and say, come and play $10, they will refuse. So gradually he died a billionaire. So I said, okay, if there are 500,000 houses, and it started with Dona when I opposed the urban tax. A widow will stay, and he said, this widow will not pay your urban tax for 3 years. Penalty. That aspect of penalty, I told them clearly. You can't expect a widow that is charging 1,000 a room. A widow that is charging 1,000 a room, 12,000 a year, to come and be paying 40,000, 50,000. The essence of owning your house is that you won't pay rent to a landlord. But when the tax imposed on you by government is more than the rent, you might as well close. Like my house, they came and gave me a bill of I think 300,000 a year. Then penalty times 3, 900,000. So I told them I'll be in court that actually tenement and urban taxes are all within Schedule 4 of the Constitution, totally within the province of the local government. You cannot delegate that responsibility. Even if you delegate responsibility to collect tax, well, once you have an issue, you must revert to your principal. Principal in this case being the local government. So it doesn't really matter what the state government does. Getting fiat from local government to do anything on behalf of local government. But once there's a dispute, the law says you revert to the principal, the person who has that inherent powers to do that. So they kept on arguing, just one court case, and they threw out urban tax. I know in lawmaking, but once one component, no matter how minute, goes by, the whole law collapses on it. And that's how urban tax, with all the good intentions, just disappeared, you know. So in this case, I wrote to Leo Limoke, I said, look, forget about, oh, you want to get that, you are an upset tenement, they say, what's the value of the house? Value of the house is 100 million. They start giving you percentage of, nobody will pay 10 million for this thing. Is Africa. Liberalize it and just simplify it. Make it this way. All those with bungalows, 10,000. All those with upstairs and above, 20,000. If you multiply that by 600,000, that's how much you get. That people will be queuing up to pay you that money. It runs into billions. Not you run after A, you run after B, you cannot make it. so many court cases, all trying to get tenements. That is even within the province of local government. Schedule 4. Same way. Certain things are like provision of social services. Where I have issues with PhD, EDs, is strictly this. They look at running after people. They give them targets. Target is 300 million. So they see, why give light to Calabar South? Why give to Calabar municipality? When Flaming pays a bill of 245 million. So they look for metro. What do you call this hotel here? I don't know the transport, what they use to metro. They pay like 30 or 20 million. So they look for 3-4 big companies and meet their target. So they can do anything to any other person. That's what is going on. My own is this. I've been fighting this since. If you're going to be behaving like that, liberalize provision of electricity. So now the law says the moment you generate electricity, you must feed it into the national grid. You cannot distribute it. The same thing with petrol, same thing with diesel. You've liberalized, you've removed subsidy. So why don't you permit everybody to import these things? Because the same thing that happened. I bought my line rate of 24,000. My MTN line, MTN line. Now at a point they were sharing free because there was competition. When you allow people run monopoly, the tendency for them to abuse and oppress will be there. So a lot of people don't understand and appreciate what we may survive. They make it such that my house I pay like 150,000 for a 5-bedroom house for electricity. The people are criminals. They need to make targets. So anyway, I try to pay my own online because when you pay online, it doesn't go to the account. Anything they give you estimated, they are taking the money. A petition, I've done everything. The person in charge of the petition unit of any house is called Orok Otu Duke. She came from Dominica. Miss you as second daughter. You have to narrate. You have a lot of consideration there. So what I'm saying is that people sleep on duty. You see a situation where somebody wakes up and tells you, because even if 1 million people in Akwa did not pay for their electricity, one person that paid must be provided their electricity. And the person who came out to protest was Remy, Captain Remy of Peace Airline. Because he says he has prepaid meter. He used to pay 90,000. Then for close to 1 year, no electricity. And they say some people harass NEPA officials at the bridge. So because of that, the whole of Akwabu, the whole of Bakassi, a border community like that, an international border, shouldn't have electricity. Everybody goes about it, nothing. But you know that culturally, the social life, the cultural life, and the economic life is destroyed in those two local governments over that period. Can those things be quantified? And people just assume. Anyway, I've been fighting for my life, fighting for everybody's life over the years. You get to a point you just say, if nobody's coming to fight for himself, let us all stay there, maybe die there. So we have issues. The same thing with this refuse thing. People can collect their refuse. I live in housing estate. Nobody from government or whatever has ever come there. For the past 15 years, we have somebody who comes with this thing they use in farms to collect refuse. I think we even pay 2,000 a week. That's why in state housing, nobody complains about refuse. And you will not see one single drop of anything anywhere.
Okay, sir. Looking at Yellow Duke, if you just before, after Church of Jesus Christ of the Third Descent, the big gutter, the way we have that culvert, the situation have been a recurring decimal. Every year we're having issues. I know on 2 occasions or 3, vehicles have fallen into that big gutter. One caused by the police. And what modality do you have in place in order to address?
Incidentally, whether Strabag, they had put a dividing wall in between, maybe to strengthen the culvert. For now, the remedial effort put in there is to, and it's even so bad that water, when it gets blocked, water rises up to the road level there, somehow seeping through the asphalt and messing up the road. What they're doing like German floor now. but unfortunately the left section that is bad. Last year it was the right section. The left section they are trying to concrete it before putting stone with then coming to asphalt. Then if you go there now, you see we are insisting they do a retaining wall. Same with Atamunu before it never has collapsed. They are doing a retaining wall there just to hold the road together. It's not only that, I've just noticed along Hart Street, no drainage, and the small drainage they had has that third wall. It had to do with design, because that's why you have to keep on upgrading your infrastructure. They are not doing that. Certain designs, I've told you a simple example where certain roads were graded or categorized as C, B, A. Now it turns out that everywhere in Calabar should be A because there's so much traffic. So they have to upgrade. Even in the USA, after 5-10 years, they'll keep on upgrading their infrastructure, changing bridges. You'll be wondering what happened to the bridge. People were using it, no problem. They said no, they need to upgrade it for the future. They have to be projecting 50 years, 100 years ahead. That culvert, if you stand by the side where refuse has collected so much refuse, you will see a dividing. These days, when you have a situation like that, the least you can do is do a culvert with an open space or do a mini bridge. But because of the cost, people cut corners. Like they say, the minimum they should do asphalt, replacement asphalt should be 4 inches. If you don't monitor like this, they do 2 inches. So
yes,
maximum.
We have Ministry of Works to monitor.
They are all there. Each of them eats. They're there. We are like supervising Ministry of Works. Because they've been there now for the past 20 years.
That's
so why are we repeating? So I told Governor, I want to personally participate. The other day, yesterday, we had issues. They were working in like 7 different places. I went to supervise Marina, then Ayoida. And I saw they had already finished Goldie, close to African Club, and they were going to Hewitt. I don't know to Hewitt. Upon the warnings and all that, if I'm not there, don't do it. I want to personally see the thickness of the asphalt. They are like that. They think it's cooked. You know, it's always very hot. Time it will go cold and then it will be messed up. They've always pulled those stunts. But to a large extent, they have conformed with those provisions. I'm there. I've decided to spend all my time these few weeks and days to just focus on this. Right. Let them do Calabar South well for a while. Like this, what is Palm Street? If you go to that Palm Street, it's 2 inches thickness for asphalt on top of laterite. Go see for it. It's so terrible, I don't know. So it's a systemic thing. The same people who are supervising have been supervising Zenith for the past 6 years. But they are there. Mr. Owo engineer, some have retired, some are coming up. There are 8 senior staff of Ministry of Works there. One of them is in Amity, one is engineer Isu, the other one is a lady, somebody Oga. They are all there. They are at Palm Street right now, waiting for me. They are from Palm Street.
So I tried to wonder, you've seen the level of work going on. So how would you ascertain the quality of materials used for those works?
You know, the company with the best material is Zenith. We insist that everything about asphalt should come from Zenith. Everything used is from Zenith. They are the best. There's fake plants. Their asphalt is not as good as Zenith. That's the truth. And because of that, Zenith has gone up in terms of their materials have gone up in terms of pricing and all that.
So looking at the rains is still soon coming, and then we still have this challenge of overflow in Calabar. For instance, look at the Weba, by example, Atapa houses. That flow will still start. Is there any provision? Will this particular intervention address?
I'm only involved really in that part that they have to replace the bad portions and replace just to ease. See that our roads, the arteries, the strategic ones are what they're doing. I didn't give the final list. For instance, when I suggested Marina, Hawkins, and Redway in Manibesico. I saw Marina, the John Hawkins, and then Redway. They give the final list. I saw Egerton, Calabar Road. So they keep on. It's like there are about 200 roads they need to actually fix in Calabar, and they wanted to do 38. Why it came up to 42 is that they approved Ejeli, Mopa. There's Chalma, there's a street after Ejeli before Mopa. It was not included. So we saw there's a refuse thing in front of Ejeli. There were 3-4 portions. I insisted they should at least fix those parts. So in recounting and giving account, more or less, Chalma should be included. And the whole call that you are seeing was not included. He said, how can you pass Mopa, Afoka, and leave a Dawuko as bad as? And Dawuko, we had to bring equipment. I'm sure we had to go and beg Mike, who does send to give us equipment. If you see over a period of 12 years what they had sunk in there, like Palm Street that they're doing, they have put asphalt, laterite, anytime the place goes bad, anything that's available. So we have to dig up all those things. Because whatever you do on top, you will still have an unstable ground there. So they're digging up and all that. I'm insisting on those things. Otherwise, they can come the 1-inch asphalt. You see the beauty of it on the surface. 6 months after it's gone. It might not even affect the overall thing they've been doing. But the little bit I've been given as an assignment to supervise, definitely it will be done right. It will be done. They put, of course, they put my streets. They had to now. I insisted, if you don't put my street, I won't do it. So a foot is there. Egerton is there. But those strategies, Jebs are here. I've not gone to Jebs. They said, Jebs, you need to scrape on the whole road.
I agree with you.
Take away the debris. And so we are reviewing it. Then
Jebs is like that.
somebody in Ministry of Works who was living at Maple, they had to patch asphalted roads and not to do earth road. So when I saw Maple, I said, so when I called one of them, said, the level, that there's a culvert between White House and HL. The culvert is like getting higher than the road. Just to compact the road, get the level, then put drains. Fine, do it for him. Because there's no way the owner of the food mill won't eat and the mill will finish. That's how it works. But definitely Calabar South needs about 200 and 250 roads to be fixed. So just currently, we are rushing to catch up the rainy season.
Currently, out of the 250 something, it's only 48. That's it.
It depends on, I must tell you, it depends on what is presented to His Excellency. Even if you see, La Shakara saw a post over this in being done in Calabar and said, please, so federal housing, the entrance was not completed, you will come and finish it. So which means even Calabar municipality that they claim they fixed most of the, that's what, somebody said something about KFA in a post. There are some parts you select and see how you can maximize according to them the little resources you have to at least impact better on people's life during the rainy season.
All right, gentlemen.